49%. That's how many of you guys voted to do a turbo LS in the S10. So I know that a lot of you guys aren't gonna like this, but apparently a lot of you guys are gonna like this. We're doing a turbo LS in the S10. Yesterday I stole the hoist because I have to pull the engine out of the RX-7 to put an oil pan gasket and drill the pan for the turbo drain, things like that. I gotta pull the engine out. And I got to put the turbo shaft in the transmission, got to get the converter for it from Scott. And let's see, what else? I brought the 5.3 over that I got a bed for the S10. You guys can see that. I didn't mean to show you that yet. I got a bed for the S10 for $100, and I got a tailgate from the junkyard today for $35. In really good shape. This is the 5.3 that I was going to put in the truck, but I changed my mind. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you already know what's sitting in the truck right now, but I'll get to that in a second. Like I said, I got this entire bed with taillights for $100. So it does look like a truck again. There's a little bit of rust in that bed, but it's gonna be a drag truck. I don't care, I'm gonna cut most of it out anyway. So we have a rough plan for the S10 that I'm gonna go over real quick. Pretty much full drag truck. For starters, I think I'm going to put a cage in it when I get around to ordering parts for it. That'll probably be the first thing I get, is an actual cage. I'm not sure how I want to do that yet. I am probably just going to order some sort of kit, like the $220, $230 Jegs or a Speedway kit. I don't know if I want just a bar or a bar with a halo and then these ones coming down. A lot of this is still kind of up in the air right now, except for one thing. Except for the engine. This is an LQ4 I picked up a couple days ago from my buddy Brandon. You can see right there in the crust it says 6 liter. I cleaned up all the cylinders, everything rolls over nice and easy. All of the cylinder walls feel good, they look good. So I'm not worried about that. It's gonna stay stock bottom end. I'll probably gap the rings a little bit. If I can find some 243 799 heads, I'll get them if it's not a stupid price. But I'll probably end up just throwing some 862 heads on it. And then like a TBSS intake. And then here's where it's gonna get kind of crazy. Yes, there are tons of aftermarket parts and aftermarket support to put an LS in this truck without cutting or smashing anything up. But I kind of want to cut the firewall and move it back a little bit. Like not a ton, just enough so that well, maybe it would be a ton. I was thinking just enough so that the #1 cylinder is in line with the center of the wheel, which would be a little bit, because right now it's like, it looks like the center of the wheel is like right in here. So yeah, that would move it back a bit. And it's just sitting in here right now. Like, these are not the right mounts for it at all. These are just the stock truck mounts, and it's literally just sitting on the frame. So some of the things that I was playing around with is, like, obviously setting it back. That's to be determined, we'll see. And then another thing is where I want to put the radiator, because that's going to determine where I put the turbo. And I'm not sure what turbo I'm going to go with yet. Probably just another 7875, the one that I got in the RX-7. If I can afford it at the time, I'll get one of the newer billet ones, but like I said, we'll see. I kind of want to put the turbo like right here, which would mean, what do I do with the radiator? I was playing around with the idea of a horizontally mounted radiator. I mean, not like perfectly flat, probably on a little bit of an angle, and then some sort of expansion tank to help bleed it. Like I said, this is all up in the air. I just started really thinking about it the past couple days. And then at some point, I mean, a turbo 6 liter, it's gonna want a turbo 400, but I am gonna run that turbo 350. We'll just see how long it lasts. I mean, we're all pretty sure that it's just gonna shatter that turbo 350, but you know, let's see how much it can hold before it does just completely disintegrate it. So that's where we're at with this thing. I want to, before I do any cutting, I'm gonna take some measurements of stuff and just see where we're at. Because I know that the main issue with these is the steering shaft. I know there's ways to get around it. There's different header swap kits, stuff like that. But we'll see what happens with it. Man, that door closes good. I know it sits way too high. I might order some lowering blocks and just cut the front springs just for the time being, because it just sits way too high. And then because it already has the 8.8 in it, I'm going to borrow the wheels off the RX-7 and test fit them to see what kind of fitment there is. There should be plenty of room. I'm only gonna run a 28-10-5 on here. That's a little bit smaller than a 28-10-5. It's like a 27-10, something like that. And I'm probably just gonna run like some of the Jeg style wheels. I don't know if I'll go with black. I'll probably go with the polished ones just to change things up. But yeah, that's where we're at with the S10. Still trying to think of a name for it that I like. I joked around on Instagram calling it Dimebag Daryl the other day. A lot of people seem to like that, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. And then this thing is getting super, super close. Honestly, if I just ordered the parts, I could probably have it running in 2 weeks. Man, I hate doing just these update videos and not actually like working on anything, but it's like I've just been tinkering on stuff here and there that there isn't really much to do right now. But I cleaned up all the stuff off the RX-7 and put the hood back on it so you guys can see pretty much what it's gonna look like once it's done. And dude, I am rock hard. Boom, check that thing out. This is gonna be an absolute freaking unit, dude. If that thing just had the matching wheels on the front, and then it'll lift the front just a touch. I mean, I don't mind the rake, but I think it should come up a little bit. That looks so freaking sick, dude. God, I cannot wait. I know I say that every time I look at this car, or talk about this car, or dream about this car, or have a wet dream.